Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another booktube video for you, and today I'm going to go through my April to read list. All the books that I'm going to read, fingers crossed, this month. Quick question for you though. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is it to read list or to be read list? Because I see a lot of people online doing a TBR list, and I love the way that looks, hashtag TBR. It's a little bit of a mouthful. To read, I think, flows better from the tongue. But let me know what you call it. Is it your to read list or you to be read list? TBR, hashtag TBR. The books that I have on my list for April, a couple library books, some books that are from old book expos that I need to get to, a reread book, and some new ones. So let's see what I've got. I'm finally going to get around to reading Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In, just a couple years too late, and I'm pretty sure that I just added a book to my to-read list called like Lean Out or something, which is a response to this book. I don't know. This was a book that was a book club pick for Women in Toys in March. I wasn't able to attend the meeting because it was on a day that I couldn't go. So I wasn't able to, or I didn't read the book in anticipation of that book club event because I knew I wasn't going to go, but I do still want to read it. So that really gave me the incentive to pick it up the last time I was at the library. So I'm going to read this one. Another library book that I picked up was Books for Living. I read The End of Your Life book club by the same author, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. And then when I found out he had this book as sort of a follow-up, I thought, oh, what a great idea. What a great read. I want to see what books that he has put on this list. Because in the first book, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but his mom is dying and they kind of spend time reading books together. So this one is for hopefully maybe some inspirational books, books to get you alive, and you're still alive. Read some books, get reading. I have had it on my to-read list for a couple years, and I'm finally getting around to picking it up at the library. So I'm looking forward to seeing what books the author has to recommend. This book is another library book. It's called Moody Bitches, with the subtitle of The Truth About the Drugs You're Taking, the Sleep You're Missing, the Sex You're Not Having, and What's Really Making You Crazy. I have no idea where I heard about this book, how it ended up on my to-read list. Perhaps at this time I was also reading Suzanne Somers' Toxicity. I think that was the title of it. And that was also a book that was about, banning certain substances, banning certain things, and getting you back to your optimal health. So I think in this book, which is written by an MD, Dr. Julie Holland, it's going to take you through some of the maybe misconceptions that you have about certain things and side effects that certain drugs could be giving you, and you just don't even know it because someone hasn't told you. I found that sometimes doctors don't tell you about side effects for medications. Your pharmacist will, which is always nice, but sometimes your doctors don't, and that's probably a sign that you should get a different doctor. So I'm excited to see what information I can glean from this book. So here's a big one. This one I picked up from Book Expo a couple years ago. It's the 3-Year Swim Club, The Untold Story of Maui's Sugar Ditch Kids and Their Quest for Olympic Glory. I love reading true stories like this. I love fiction, but I also have a special place in my heart for nonfiction. True stories that take you back in time to certain parts of history. I was not aware of who these people were before I had picked up this book, so I am intrigued to read about the story and see what happened. If you've read it, let me know what you think, because it did come out a couple years ago. I also like it sometimes when nonfiction books put pictures in there, and there are pictures, yay! Because it just kind of puts like a face to the name, especially if there are a lot of people involved in the story. You can kind of go and see, oh, okay, that's who that person was, that's who that person was, this is what, this looks like that they were talking about. I like sometimes when nonfiction books have pictures. So anyway, this is going to be on my to-read list for this month too. I talked about The Waiting Place in my video for the books that I'm going to reread this year. So check that out for a more in-depth explanation. But this I decided to put on my to-read list for April because it's a very short read, so I'm sure I'm not going to have any trouble getting through it. And I just felt like sometimes maybe especially at this time in my life, it's really important to read a book like this. And in terms of some of the other books that I was going to reread, When God Makes Lemonade, I didn't actually reread it. I just went back to the parts that I had bookmarked to see maybe why I had bookmarked them, and it really had nothing to do with the stories that were in the book. I had bookmarked them to go visit a website or find more information about the author who had written the story, so that's why I had bookmarked it. So that book, that reread book, is a donate. Memory Making Mom is a book review that I'm going to be posting hopefully in the month of April, if not definitely the month of May, which would be better timed because May is Mother's Day month. This is a book by Jessica Smart. I got this through the Book Loop Bloggers program. I love reading books about mom life and books that will help me as a mom kind of get through different struggles and give me ideas of things that I can do with my kids. So this one is all about creating a rich, meaningful life with your family, creating those memories that you want your kids to remember. When they're adults, they can look back and say, oh, that was really cool that mom and I used to do that, or the family used to do that. My daughter is very young right now. She does have a good memory. She still remembers the toy cell phone that we lost to Target when she was like 9 months old. However, I'm sure that there's still some things that are happening right now that she won't remember as an adult. So maybe this is actually a book that will help me a little bit farther down the line when my daughter's, brain actually does start making some of those memories. So I'm excited to check this one out. The subtitle is Building Traditions That Breathe Life into Your Home. And of course, it takes it from a Christian aspect. I'm sure that if you're not Christian, not spiritual or religious, you don't have to, apply those parts of the book to making these memories. I'm sure that the traditions can be secular as well. Now, last month I had purchased The Dead Moms Club, and I talked about it in my March to read video. However, I wasn't going to get to it because I had a lot of books on my March to read list, which I did read them all. Go me! So this one's going to be for April. It is nonfiction. It's a memoir about a woman dealing with her grief after her mom dies. So I am excited. Well, is excited really the right word? I'm interested and intrigued to read it. I mean, a little excited to see if this woman's experience is somehow similar to mine and the experiences of the other women that she meets. And how she meets them too would be kind of interesting to find out. So I will let you know what I think of this book, which I bought. I don't normally buy books. I'm very big on library books or getting them for free to review, but I did buy this book. So I hope it was worth it. And then the last book is Thirst by Scott Harrison. He's the CEO and founder of Charity Water, which is a nonprofit in New York City. I actually saw him speak at a church several years ago, right when the company was kind of still getting started. He was talking about his story and how he got the company started and what it does. I'm sure this is going to be some of the same information in this book, but I picked it up at Book Expo last year. I just never got around to reading it. It did come out in October, so it's available for you to read as well. I would highly recommend it because I think what Charity Water does, which is providing clean drinking water to impoverished areas, I think it's a really great nonprofit, a really great charity. I actually used to have a Charity Water t-shirt because they used to sell stuff on their website, and they might still. And some of the proceeds of the things that they sold would go toward helping out the organization's mission. So I don't know, again, like I said, I don't know if there's going to be any new information in this book. For me, there might be because it's been several years since I last really checked in with Charity Water and Scott Harrison. So I am looking forward to seeing what the company has going forward in this book. Okay, so that's 8 books to read during the month of April. I think I can do it. Wish me luck. What books are you guys reading this month, or what's on your to-read list? What are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments. Any of these books spark your interest? Let me know too. Maybe you can read them along with me and we can discuss. That would be a lot of fun. Give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe below, follow me on social media, and we'll see you guys next time to talk more books.